Hello, welcome back to the Draw of Fairway to Green podcast. We have a run on the Ladies European Tour that we have not seen before. I mean, you can also count on the LPGA Tour. Hannah Green of Australia has won back-to-back tournaments over on the Ladies European Tour, and she won earlier this year on the LPGA Tour. She has 3 wins this month alone.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Hannah Green is the hottest golfer in the entire world. I know we talked about, Chris got up with a couple wins at the beginning of the season, the Scotties runs, but Hannah Green is the hottest golfer. She won on the LPGA Tour, I think Singapore or one of the Asian events on the LPGA Tour, and then she's won in back-to-back weeks in Australia. She won to the Australia Open, and then another tournament this week in Australia. So Hannah Green is on fire right now. Definitely a name to watch out for coming up from the LPGA majors, and she isn't on the European Tour, so she doesn't get any points for their order of merit, like season long thing. But she could play in the Australians, but she won't be there. She'll be on the LPGA tour with the rest of the big names, Gino, Nelly, all of them. But unbelievable golf being played by Hannah Green.
Yeah, I mean, to again, she's an LPGA Tour player, so she could have played in California this week with everyone else on the LPGA Tour. It was a great event, but she decided to stay home for the second week, win back-to-back events in her home country. That's pretty cool. Again, we talk about, like you said, Chris Goddard, Scotty Scheffler. I don't know if Scotty Scheffler's ever won 3 times in a month. I know he's gone back to back at some point, but usually when he goes back to back, he takes a week off in between. Like he plays a week, rests, and then plays. She went back to back weeks, literally back to back weeks to win in her home country. And like you said, this strong play is she's gonna be a factor in the majors now. Like you can't play this well and not expect to compete in the majors. Over on the LPGA Tour, we have Hyo Joo Kim. She goes and wins her 8th career LPGA Tour title in Canada, outduels world number 2 Nelly Korda, who got really hot over the weekend and made it a tournament. I thought it was going to be a runaway for Kim, and Korda came back and gave her some fight.
Yeah. Hyo Joo Kim, she was winning the every single round. She was a leader. She went wire to wire, and then that final round, she started a few strokes up over Nelly, and it's like, okay, she had a 3 or 4 shot lead over Nelly. If you play like you've been playing the rest of the week, should be totally fine. But no, that wasn't the case. She actually, I think, shot even or one over. So she left the door open for Nelly to come in, and Nelly did come in. She tied her at the leaderboard on the back nine. Unfortunately, Nelly did three putt the 17th hole bogey, and then from there I think it was 2 shot swing, and she was behind by 2 going 18, and that didn't happen. So a tough one for Nelly there, but Nelly Korda, very also a very very on a very hot streak right now. She has played in 2 events. I know this is over the span of 2 months, but she was first in the tournament in January in Florida, and then she was second this week in her first tournament back on the LPGA Tour. So she's been playing very well. She's definitely come out with something to prove after she didn't win on tour last season. So she's definitely like, I'm in this. Don't forget about me. I'm still Nelly Korda.
Yeah, I think for Nelly, it's kind of like I don't want to even say a return to 2 years ago because she wasn't bad last year. We talk about
At
Nelly
all.
like she was bad, but she has such a high standard, like Gino, that not winning for we could arguably say the best women's golfer on the planet right now, outside of maybe Hannah Green, who's on fire, like we talked about. But yeah, so again, I think it's a good stretch run. She won, placed second this week. She's going to a tournament where she's won here in the past. Yeah, I think it's setting up, and obviously it's a Solheim Cup. Like all those looking into those rankings, like those teams and those points and who's listed where. Yeah, but I mean, it was a great field. Again, the broadcast was so much better. Props to NBC and Golf Channel that, finally getting the coverage out there. I thought the production was good. I thought the kind of packaged interviews and all that stuff was really well. And it's really the first week. I mean, we can count the Orlando event a couple months ago, but once they get in the swing of thing, I think you're going to see little things get fixed and it will make it that much better. So through a couple weeks, or we'll say 2 events of the new broadcast deal, I'm liking the way so far.
Yeah, this is how it should have been, for last season. Last season, you saw all these different golfers win. The tour is absolutely loaded with talent, and they didn't really have, the coverage they deserve. So this year with the new NBC deal, I know I saw some screenshots of some drone shots on the broadcast, which is
Very
new for the
cool.
LPGA Tour. So that's I'm really excited, and as you said, they'll certainly be working out some things to make it better in the upcoming weeks. And we're expecting a good run of golf coming up because the LPGA Tour is back in the United States and they're ready to go.
Yeah, I think again it was a good kickoff kind of to the North America swing, obviously, as they play more tournaments like they are this week. I think it will get better. And I think the viewership will go up. And we're going to talk about golfers playing really well right now. We have to go over to the PGA Tour, and we start with the winner this week, Matt Fitzpatrick. He wins the Valspar Championship a week after losing to Cameron Young at the Players Championship by one after making bogey on the 18th hole. He has another top 10 finish earlier this year at the WM Phoenix Open. He has been great since kind of the end of last year, like August time, where he kind of turned it up and got onto the Ryder Cup team. Won the DP World Tour Championship this past fall. Again, he lost to, I think it was Rory or someone else in a playoff in another event over there. And again, a T or second place finish last week at the Players, wins the Valspar, gets his third career PGA Tour win. These Ryder Cup players are playing well to start the year.
Yeah, the big name players that you see in all these tournaments, the Ryder Cup, and even TGL, like there was a stat today, there's a certain percentage of TGL winners on tour are in TGL, so that's the big names. And I'm not really surprised by Matthew Fitzpatrick, winning last week. As you mentioned, he started playing well at the end of last year, took the momentum into Bethpage, and then started off the season, playing very well. And unfortunately, it was, unfortunately for Sungjae Im, his kind of his first few tournaments back. I know he had surgery, and obviously putting four very solid rounds together could be tough coming back from injury. You're not used to the tournament feel, so it sucks to see Sungjae Im lose like that. But Matthew Fitzpatrick is they're playing fantastic, and he deserves that victory.
Yeah, Sungjae Im, like you said, it's got to be rust. I mean, he's normally a guy, I think they said on the broadcast Sunday, that he plays 27, 28 times a year. So the fact that he had to take, I think it was almost 2 months off, he missed the whole West Coast swing and plays in a couple of these floors. So he's not used to it. I didn't think he played that bad because it was rough early on and he kind of studied out. Like Sungjae Im is one of the best ball strikers in the world, and it looked kind of like it evaded him there for the front nine. And Brandt Snedeker, again, great guy. He's the President's Cup captain for the U.S. this year. I didn't think he really ever had a shot. I thought it was a good story. He's played well, kind of caught lightning in a bottle. And if he would have won, that would have been great. I never really thought he had a chance. My eyes were on, I thought Lipsky was playing really well. And Fitzpatrick was, again, he's just so good. And he's an elite ball striker. And his putter wasn't even that good Sunday. He missed a ton of putts that I think he probably could have won by 3 or 4 and, saved himself some gray hairs and not even to make a 15-foot birdie putt on the 18th. But yeah, he's another one like, again, I hate talking about the Ryder Cup, but him and these younger European guys that have got experience now, and he finally picked up his first point at the Ryder Cup this past one at Bethpage. Like, it's just one of these guys like you're not going to see not on a team for a while, and I don't know how many you can say that for on the American side, but yeah. And then the other thing we have to talk about the pace of play that he was involved in, and again, I don't know the other player all too well. If he's normally a slow player, you could tell he was very frustrated on the broadcast. And they said at one point that he hit first, even while his playing partner was farther away. He hit first, made it up to the green, and still waited 3 more minutes for his playing partner to play a shot in. So Fitz, again, who is not afraid of controversy, he called out Bryson a couple years ago about
Yeah,
getting
he's been
speed
in a
and
lot
all
of
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like again, I like it. This little English kid who is not the biggest or most scary looking. He's like, I'll stand up to him. So he goes to the rules official. He complains. They put him, not Fitzpatrick, they put his playing partner on the clock. I don't really know what theirs do is like you probably just have to penalize them. Like obviously they gave him a warning, but it didn't change because he was still playing. So like I think there's got to be some type of harsher penalty on all tours. I don't know if it's just the PGA Tour if this is a problem, but it seems like we see it more on the PGA Tour. I just like forget the warning, give him the penalty stroke right away.
Yeah, pace of play has been a huge problem on the PGA Tour for the last couple years now. And I know Brooks Koepka, when they asked him about him out a couple years ago at the PGA Championship, he said, "Yeah, we should start giving guys stroke penalties because it's getting a little absurd, like the time it takes." And usually in a situation like with Matthew Fitzpatrick, him kind of telling on his playing partner, like I usually probably wouldn't be a fan, but at a certain point, it's ridiculous. I know when I'm playing and I'm golfing at home and I have to wait, every few shots for the group in front of me, and if I'm in a rhythm, it's like, yeah, I have to wait and it's a little frustrating. Obviously, I'm not playing for millions of dollars with the skill that Matthew Fitzpatrick has, but I can see how that can certainly be frustrating. And I think it was the right thing to do to let him know. And I'm sure, and I saw the majority of comments I saw on the internet were on Matthew Fitzpatrick's side because pace of play, we know the human traffic jam like Patrick Cantlay and Brian Harmon. We know the Tom Kim, like we know the guys, but at a tournament like this, like it just can't be a problem.
Yeah, it's hard to win. I mean, good for Fitz for kind of, I'm gonna say battling through it because that lack of better words right now, but it's got to be tough to play slow when you're in contention, especially for someone like Fitz who plays fast. He likes playing fast, and you get him out of his rhythm, like that could cost him a tournament. I mean, he only won by one stroke, so it's being a little irritated on one shot, and that could be the difference of him winning and placing in second. Over on the DP World Tour this past week, we had Jordan Gumberg pick up the win at the Hainan Classic. Again, not the best field right now. This upcoming field for the DP World Tour is a little better. They have a PGA Tour player playing in the field, but again, it's still a good win. My pick, Jorge Campillo, was tied for him going in the final round. He shoots 1 under. His playing partner, Gumberg, shoots 2 under. Again, pretty. It was a fine final round. Both players didn't made one bogey each on the front nine, didn't make any on the back nine, and it was all pars in from hole, I think 13 to 18. But Jordan Gumberg picks up the win over there at the DP World Tour. This week, we'll start with the DP World Tour first. We have the Hero Indian Open. Again, the big headliner, and this is Akshay Bhatia, the newly minted Arnold Palmer Invitational winner, is in the field. It is in India. He is of an Indian descent. Saw this or I think it was his post game when he won at the Arnold Palmer. Maybe it was after the Players. He goes, yep, he's going to go play in India, so he's going to miss the TGL finals that are happening right now. We're recording this Tuesday night as the TGL finals are happening. Right now, it's not looking good for the Jupiter Lynx. They are down 6-2 heading into hole 10. Tiger Woods has returned. He's looked okay, not bad, a little rusty. But on the DP World Tour, Akshay Bhatia leads a group that does include Francesco Molinari and his brother Eduardo. No Patrick Reed, which he feel like he hasn't played in a couple of these DP World Tour events. But with his 2 wins early in the year, he has such a lead on points that
he's
it doesn't
totally
really
fine.
matter. But again, Gary Player designed this course. It was actually originally designed by Arnold Palmer as a 9-hole course, and then they added another 9. And then 2015, they had Gary Player create his 9, take a 9 from the Arnold Palmer design, and create a golf course. So they've played here since 2015. I'm gonna go with the easy pick this week. Akshay Bhatia is my pick to win over in India. He's played really well to start the year. He has the win at the Arnold Palmer, finished well at the AT&T Pebble Beach program. He's clearly the best player in this field. I think he's going to win.
Yeah, I have the same pick as you. Akshay Bhatia is by far the best player in this field. PGA Tour signature event winner. Kind of seems like a no-brainer. I love the Hero India Challenge. It's a great tournament. I know last year there was I think there was something going on. There wasn't anything going on the PGA Tour, so I think like Rory, Shane Lowry, and Victor Hovland were over there. So looked like a pretty fun time. So I like this event, and I think Akshay Bhatia will win.
Over on the LPGA Tour, we have the Ford Championship presented by Wild Horse Pass down in Phoenix, Arizona. Again, another really good field to kick off the year. We have 22 of the top 25 in the Rolex rankings are in the field. So again, if you're going to come out here on top come Sunday, you are playing against the best of the best until the majors. It has been a fantastic start this event last week to getting major players in the field. Again, last year's champion is Hyo Joo Kim, so she's fresh off a win. Can she go back to back this week and back to back in this tournament? We'll see. 2024 champ Nelly Korda in the field as well. The cool little tidbit of the week for here is Nelly and Jessica Korda are going to be playing in the same LPGA Tour event since 2023. Jessica had a baby. She is kind of returning from that maternal leave and starting to play again on the LPGA Tour. So I think that will be cool. I'm sure Nelly is great, happy to have her sister back. Again, Phoenix golf, there's going to be some desert, so you better drive it straight there.
Yeah, gonna be a great tournament once again for the LPGA Tour this week. For my pick this week, I've gone with another boring pick. I've gone with Nelly Korda. I'm not gonna go away from that. She was first and then second in her two events this season. So I feel like I've got a really good, I've got a great chance this week for her to win.
Yeah, so contrary to what the listeners believe, Brian and I do not share our picks with each other before this. We go right off the cuff, and my pick is Nelly Korda. It's just, again, like you said, she finished first, second. I think the thing that sealed it for me, because I was close to picking Gino, because she's Gino, was the little tidbit of her and her sister playing together. I think there's just something there, whether it's a comfort thing that her sister's there with her, or like that she's back and playing, and I'm like, I don't know the pairings yet. I don't think they've come out with that. Like, just an ease that she's playing with her sister again. I think there's something there that I think will propel her to win for the second time here at the Ford Championship down in Arizona. And the last event of the week is the Texas Children's Houston Open. A pretty fun golf course. Last year we had Scotty Scheffler lose to Minwoo Lee by one. There's no Scotty Scheffler in the field this week. It was announced today that he is withdrawing due to him and his wife having their second child any day soon, which I did not know. Maybe I was just oblivious. I didn't know she was pregnant. Usually Scotty's pretty open with that, so I didn't know that. Again, I'm not going to lie. Scotty's got to pick a better time to have his kids. Last time he had Bennett, it was around the Masters. This time we're 2 weeks away. Like, he knows what's happening.
The storyline was, is he going to miss the Masters for his kid being born?
He would miss it. He is the type of person, and again, I don't know if I would, but he said if he was leading the tournament in the second or third round and Meredith won in labor, he would leave. Again, he must be a much better person than I am, because I don't know if I could do that. Let's just start planning to have your kids different times in April, because I want to see Scotty Scheffler at the Masters. It's great for him having a second kid. All right. I'm sure Houston is bummed that he's not here playing this week. He loves playing in Texas. So he obviously grew up in Dallas. This is an interesting golf course because it's also hosting the Chevron Championship later this year for the LPGA Tour. So it's going to host a PGA Tour event, then an LPGA Major. So I'm excited to see how it plays now and then how it plays for the women here in a couple of months. Who's your pick this week, Ryan?
Okay, so if we end up picking the same player for the third tournament, it's gonna be insane. But I've gone with Sam Burns.
Okay, good. Don't have him. Don't have him.
Okay, okay, good. But this feels like a Sam Burns win. I know a couple weeks ago when he lost at Pebble Beach, it was, Sam Burns wins a tournament every year. It seems, always up there. And I feel like this is one of those, Sam Burns wins, because there's not like a surplus of, really top big name players in the field. And Sam Burns from Texas, I believe. So Sam Burns back in Texas. And once again, Sam Burns is doing Sam Burns things. He is 14th in strokes gained putting on tour this season. So, just got to figure out how to get to the surface. But once he gets there, he's 14th in strokes gained.
Yeah, and he's too good to not have won. I think I did when I was looking at who to pick. I looked at him. He hasn't won since 2023. It's been a long time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, his last win was the Dell Technologies match play down in Austin, and that hasn't been an event in years. So I was like, whoa. But
really, I know he won at Copperhead at back-to-back years.
Yeah, but that was before that even.
Oh my goodness.
So again, he was in the playoff last year at the RBC Canadian Open with Ryan Fox, and he lost, and the whole U.S. Open debacle with the water ruling and all that. We talked about that when it happened. But yeah, he's too good of a player, too good of a putter to not win. And at a course like this where it's a tough little course, like the greens are smaller than normal. You got to hit it straight. He does that. My pick, and I think he is now going to become the favorite with Scotty withdrawing just because of how well he's played and the fact that he helped design this golf course during the renovation in 2019. Brooks Koepka, he's going to break through, get that first win since the PGA Championship at Oak Hill. Again, like I said, when they renovated this golf course in 2019, Tom Doak, who was the main renovator, asked for a player consultant. Who was it? Brooks Koepka. So he literally helped build this golf course. If that doesn't help or give him inside knowledge, I don't know what does. But Brooks Koepka, he's played well, especially down in the Florida stretch. He's kind of figured out his ball striking has been really good. Putting
Yeah,
is
he's
still
played
here
very
there.
well.
You know, T9 at the Cognizant Classic, T13 at the Players, T18 last week. It's got to, the putter is the issue right now, but he's also first on the PGA Tour in strokes gained approach to the green. So like
Wow.
his ball striking is there. His driving isn't far off. It's really the putter that's costing him right now. And again, at a course where he helped, I think it just gives him a little more advantage. Again, he's played well in getting ready for the Masters, right? He loves the majors, so what better way to go into Augusta than with the win on the PGA Tour at a course you helped build? Brooks Koepka, my pick to finally get that, not even finally get that monkey off that back, but I think if he can pick up a win, there's just going to be a sense of relief over him that he made the right decision and that he can still play on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we know if Brooks Koepka uses a mallet putter?
He
See when
did.
we
He switched the spider, I think. I think
really?
they have the Scotty Cameron blade, and I think recently he's switched to the spider, or as he did. I don't know if he kept in the bag last week at Valspar. I wasn't paying too much attention, but I know he was working with one.
I was gonna say everyone with putter struggles just switches to the a spider or mallet putter. But yeah, I like the Brooks Koepka pick for this week. He's been playing much better than when he first came on at the Farmers. So he's been getting better every week. And with Scotty out, even though it's not majors Koepka where he's all about I only care about majors, I feel like he does care a little bit about these like normal events on the PGA Tour. So I think he'll put it on a have a good performance this weekend.
It should be a fun week. All three events you can see on the Golf Channel. When this podcast comes out, you can go read our previews on how to watch and who to watch at these events. Again, fairtogreen.com. And then once Monday hits, Sunday night, go check out our recaps of the events. And again, check us out on wherever you get your podcasts and YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. We will talk to you next week. We'll review all of these events and we'll preview the upcoming ones. Masters Week is in 2 weeks away, so we're getting closer. This week at Houston is one of the last chances to earn your way into the Masters. So I'm pretty sure once Sunday ends, that final putt ends, the top 50 in the official World Golf Ranking is qualified if they already aren't. And the only other way to get in is winning next week down at the Valero Texas Open in San Antonio. But enjoy the golf. Again, go check us out, our website and our YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. We'll talk to you next week.